gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. And now, it's
And welcome everyone to the Circle the Bay Championship and EYR MMA podcast, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host of Devious One, Ivan C. Of course, the director who is the host for the show will be on tour, so you better make sure you catch him on Fate Destroyed. He's busy right now, getting ready, preparing himself for the tour coming up, as he's going all over the United States. So make sure you catch him. But it looks like we're over here. All four of us will be taking over. So I'm here with my family, mi familia, the real MMAs right here of all time, the Joe Rogans, the Cormiers. I can name them all. But yes, let me go ahead and introduce, ladies and gentlemen, the modest of pain that brings the pain to you. And that is, of course, Alex and Richard from Championship on the Line podcast. Gentlemen, how are you?
We're good, man. Excited for this card, and it's a pretty stacked card, so I'm excited to talk about it.
Oh, man, me too. And, of course, I definitely want to hear this gentleman right here who brings the pain in that cage, because he's going to show you that rage. And when he does, everybody's going to be like, UFC! And that is Coach Ray, EYR. Coach, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you.
So, yes, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with another MMA episode 16 of discussing upcoming this Saturday, and that is UFC 273, as we have Volkanovski versus a Korean zombie, and of course, Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan 2. Man, gentlemen, I'm looking forward for this. But before we do, you guys are familiar with anything that you guys are excited in the prelims and the early prelims? So I don't know. So I'll take it to you, Coach. So do you any interesting on the early and end?
The first fight of the evening, the first fight on the card is Piera Rodriguez and Kay Hansen. And it's hard for me because Piera is a former teammate of mine. I worked with her a little bit. And Kay Hansen, I'm friendly with. Kay Hansen is at a classic fight team down in Orange County. And Piera is, she's from Venezuela, but she lives in Spain, but she comes out and trains here at Black House. And for this camp, the UFC was a little late getting her visa stuff squared away. So she was at All-Star in Sweden because I guess the visa, whatever the situation, it's easier to go from Spain to Sweden than Spain to Los Angeles. But I haven't seen Piera in a while. I've held mitts for her. I've worked with her, and I can say that she hits harder than most bantamweight male fighters. And she's a strawweight female, and she cracks. But she hasn't been training with me, so I'm a little concerned. But that fight's going to start the card, and it's going to be interesting. And I there's, for my heart, there's no good winner here because I'm close to both of them. Hansen's ground game is solid. She came out of CSW and she's with Classic Fight Team right now. So she's got a really solid ground game. Her stand-up is pretty good too. Her boxing's pretty good. Piera's boxing is incredibly powerful. And she's been training with Kenny Johnson at Black House on her wrestling. So if it stays on the feet, I lean towards Piera. If it goes to the ground, I lean towards Kay. But Somebody's got to win. Somebody's got to lose. I just don't know who it's going to be.
But yeah, you never know. It could be the performance of the night or fight of the night, even though it could be.
It could be, absolutely. But it's a phenomenal. It's a great way to start the card. It's like first fight of the early prelims, and it's two killer women just going at it.
Oh, I'm excited. I cannot wait to see it. Alex, what about you? Any fights you're looking forward to in the early or the prelims? Looks like somebody froze.
Yeah, be Alex.
There he is.
There it goes.
So go ahead, Alex. Yes. Who do you got on the prelims?
Okay, yeah, a little froze a little bit. What was the question?
who are you looking for? What fight are you looking forward for either the prelims or the early prelims?
Prelims, I'm excited. I mean, I love heavyweights, so obviously within the card, it's always exciting to have heavyweights in the card. So definitely have to go Rosenstruck versus Tibera. It's gonna be a really good fight. I think it's gonna be a really good stand-up war. I like this fight for Rosenstruck, especially him. You know, him kind of having up and down road. I think this will be a good fight for him, especially a good one. We'll get him back hopefully in his winning ways, because he's a very exciting fighter. So I think it'll be a good fight for both guys too, even Tibera. So if he gets a win over Rosenstruck, it'll be a good one for him and go to the next level. So it's gonna be a really good, kind of a crossroads fight, but I think it'll be a really good, exciting fight to start the prelims. So it'll be cool.
Okay, Richard.
I'm gonna pick as another heavyweight fight, Alexei Olenek versus Jared Vanderaa. I've been a fan of Alexei. I mean, the guy is like submission machine. I think he did like one of the first Ezekiel chokes in the UFC. I mean, he has like 54 wins, 46 by submission, which is crazy. And Jared's a tough guy too, but they're both their point in the career where they're both coming up losses. I think Olenek is like on a losing streak of 3. Jared is a losing streak of 2. So it's like another crossroads fight. These guys both need to win. And I love that when two fighters are back against the walls, they're going to come and throw it and go for that huge victory. And especially the heavyweight division, how stacked it is. I mean, any moment you get a shot. So they got to start getting some, string of wins to get there. But I'm rooting for Alexei Olenek. I mean, the guy's 44 years old and still in the UFC and kicking ass.
Yeah,
so
I agree. I'm looking forward for that too. But I'm looking forward for the one that Coach mentioned on Piera and Kay. I think that one's exciting. That's going to be exciting, especially being for an opener. Woo! It better be a fight of the night, a performance of the night. I'm excited. Oh, all right, man. Let's get into the main card. A lot of switches happened in the last minute, and also earlier today, just mentioned as well. They just added this additional fight. I know that in this card, we were supposed to have, I believe it was supposed to be, if I'm correct here, Gaslam versus yeah, but unfortunately Gaslam pulled out due to undisclosed injuries. So a lot of things kind of switched. And at the beginning, it was supposed to be using 4 fights in the main card, but they added the additional, which I'm assuming they moved this one, or correct if I'm wrong, gentlemen. I'm not quite 100%, but they added this fight, and that is Pitchell versus Madsen on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and go around the table for this fight. And so it makes it easier that way. We go around. So I'll take it with you, Alex. What do you got on this one?
So coming with Madsen, coming from a wrestling background, placing, has a silver medal in the Olympics, very, very high level wrestler. And Vic Pichel was, obviously a veteran in the game and has some really good fights and, a lot of more fights in UFC than Mark, but I just think Mark's going to go with what he knows best. He's going to go with his wrestling. He's going to try to take him down, utilize that. And I see Madsen when getting a win. Even though I like Vic Pichel, I like him a lot, but I think Madsen gets it done. Using his wrestling, I think it's a decision win for Madsen.
Oh, okay. All right. I love that.
But it will be tough for him, though. It's going to be a tough fight, though. It's a tough fight for Madsen because Pichel is very, very skilled, very good. So, but yeah, should be exciting though.
Yes, definitely. All right, Richard, who do you got on this one?
For that one, I'm gonna. Man, that's tough. I'm gonna go with Pichel. That's a tough one. The reason why, I would go for Madsen just because he's 11-0. He's a Greco-Roman machine, But what got me kind of backpedaling is he's coming off a lot. I mean, he defeated Clay Guida, which was like a split decision win. And if you're going that road of like, hey, I want to be a champion, I'm coming up hot, 10-0. I just expected more dominance, especially someone like he's a veteran. Like we know what Clay Guida has done. Guida has done his career. He's just an amazing fighter and all the accolades he's done. But he's, kind of the end of his rope. And especially with Mark Madsen, he should have came out guns blazing, just wrestling and dominating, come off of a huge win and then on to the next one. But he struggled. And the same thing with Pichel. Pichel's a great fighter, 14-2, 8 KOs. But one of his weaknesses is wrestling. He only has, 2 losses in the UFC. One to Gregor Gillespie, who's a national champion, to Rustam Habilov, who's a great wrestler. So that's why I'm kind of like, okay, if Mark Madsen does what he has to do, just wrestling, he's going to get the win. But Pichel has great striking as well. 8 KOs. If he stands his ground, could stop some shots, he could win. I mean, it could have went either way. Clay Guida could have won that split decision. So it's a tough one, but yeah, I think Pichel's going to get the victory on this one by the unanimous decision. I'm going to go with unanimous decision.
Really? Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting. All right. Coach, what do you got on these two individuals here?
So this fight, like you said, it got added last minute. I'm not really terribly familiar with the two fighters. So I just kind of looked at their stats real quick. Pichel has under a 60% finish rate. He has no submissions. What's the other guy's name?
Mark Madsen.
Madsen, yeah. Madsen has a slightly higher finish rate, and he's like 30% knockout, 30% submission, 30% decision. What's interesting is the betting favorite is Pichel, but it looks on paper like Madsen's got he's got more finishes. He has the advantages as far as being a Greco-Roman Olympian with knockout power. So it seems like on paper, Madsen's the better, more well-rounded fighter with a slightly better skill set. So I'm going to go with him. Madsen, unanimous decision. Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. For my pick, I mean, I'm likewise, Coach, not really familiar, but by looking at their stats as well, it is a tough one. I mean, you got a vet like Pichel, Madsen, who's undefeated right now as well. How you mentioned that he is well grounded on in the ground, which is how Richard mentioned that's Pichel's weakness. So this could definitely end up definitely a unanimous decision. Now the pick is I don't know who to pick on this one because they're both kind of almost balanced out even. So I'm gonna have to go with Madsen. The fact is, I think if he held him on the ground for those 3 rounds, and keeps him down there again, getting those points, then I believe that Madsen could overcome and win this fight and stay undefeated. So that's what I got on my picks. So now let's go to the second fight of the night, and that is, of course, we have Mackenzie Dern versus Tecia Torres. So I will take it to you again, Alex. Who do you got on this one?
So again, you got
What's going on,
obviously
Clark
Mackenzie
Street,
Dern,
Devin?
You got Mackenzie Dern, who's a world class, jiu-jitsu. So Tecia Torres is a good, well-rounded. I mean, Tecia, this is gonna be a stand-up fight. So the reason why, because most of the time Tecia does try to end up taking to the ground. She ain't gonna do that with Dern, especially her ground game. So it's gonna go depend on who has a better striking. And I'm gonna go with Tecia on this one. I just feel like she has more experience. I feel like she's fought the tougher fights, had learned, and she's on a winning streak too. She's looking really good in the last 3 fights, having good wins on good opponents. So I'm gonna go with Tecia on this one. I feel like she gets the job done, and go for a decision on Torres on this one.
All right. Richard, who do you got?
Probably, yeah, same. I'm not trying to copy my little brother, but yeah, same thing. Tisha Torres. Obviously, we're gonna pick probably the similarities. But yeah, Tisha Torres for sure. I'm just been a fan of Tisha. I mean, she's come. I believe what was she? From Ultimate Fighter. She's been in UFC for 7 years. She's coming off 3 wins. Before that, she was on the verge of getting cut. She had 4 losses in a row, and then she comes back, digged herself out of the hole. 3 wins in a row. It's kind of commendable. She still wants to be in the UFC. She's still hungry. She wants to be a champion, but she needs to pass Mackenzie Dern this weekend, which is tough. Mackenzie Dern comes from jiu-jitsu royalty. We know what she's going to do. 7 submissions, 11, but she might be froggy and wants to stand up with Tisha, and it could be a banger, like Alex said. It could be straight up standing. But I just feel right now, Tisha's on a roll, and it's her time right now. So I'm going to give it to Tisha by decision.
Awesome. Coach, who do you got?
I actually have some insider information on this.
Yeah.
So I'm friends with Mackenzie's dad, Megaton. Mackenzie trained at Black House for a hot minute, and it got a little spicy. There's actually an article on Bloody Elbow about what happened with Mackenzie and her ex-coach, who is no longer in the picture. He's no longer at Black House. He's no longer involved at all. It was pretty messy. When that split happened, Mackenzie went to Ruka and started training with Jason Perillo. And you could see a difference, a significant difference, when that switch happened. All of a sudden, her striking got way better and almost good. So now what's interesting is she's still striking with Jason Perillo, but she comes to Black House to train with Kenny Johnson, and one of her sparring partners or wrestling partners is Piera Rodriguez. So the holes in Mackenzie's game are getting plugged. They're getting filled. Her striking is at a pretty high competency level, and now she's added takedowns and wrestling. So the way I see this happening, first round between Tisha and Mackenzie going to be contentious. I think Tisha's going to just slightly win that first round, but then the second round, Mackenzie's going to take Tisha down, and it's going to be over. So Mackenzie Dern, second round, probably it's going to be an armbar or rear naked, but by submission.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. Oh, man. Coach is on fire with these picks now. I'm just noticing that like shit.
and for anyone in the audience watching, Mackenzie Dern is one of the top female Brazilian jiu-jitsu talents on the planet. She's phenomenal. So it's basically anyone gets on the ground with her, it's over. And she came in all jiu-jitsu and didn't do very well her first few fights, because you can't just be one style anymore. You've got to have striking. You got to have transition. So you need striking, wrestling, and ground fighting. And she was weak in the striking and very weak in the wrestling. And she's plugged those holes. So sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, not at all. You didn't cut me off. No, not at all, man. I love it. I love it. I agree. Especially with this, seeing Mackenzie's last fight against Marina, even though she lost, but it was a fight of the night. It was a close fight, even though she did lose, unanimously.
Yep.
Torres, yes, she's on a roll.
And she lost. She lost because she didn't have the takedowns, and
Yeah.
she couldn't close the distance with her boxing. She didn't have the footwork with the boxing to close the distance, and then even when she did, she didn't have the wrestling to get it to the ground. And
Indeed.
I promise you, those two holes have been addressed. Sorry.
Oh, I know. I could. All right. See, instead of going with my heart, well, no, you know what? This is my heart because I'm going to go with it, and I feel that this fight's going to be very intriguing to see, because we have an individual who's on the roll, and we have one who's going to come back, especially what Coach has mentioned, with now that she, improved and her techniques on her wrestling, on her, striking and jiu-jitsu. So now I'm really going to have to go pick with Dern unanimous. I'll go with her unanimous. So I'm gonna play it safe on that. Yes, Alex, I'm playing it safe. All right. I know you're looking at me. Yes, Alex. And I don't get no help. All right. All I get is
Sure.
Sure.
Alex is texting me saying you're copying Rage's picks. No,
Hey.
I'm gonna take this to the commission, Ivan.
Okay. Yeah. Where's Chris at? He's not here.
I said second round submission. He said unanimous decision.
I said unanimous.
It's not the same. See?
It's not the same.
He's changing it.
I mean, I could go first in the lineup, and you can all copy my picks. I mean, that would be the smart way to do it, right?
Let's go into the third fight of the evening, which this is this fight right here, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, I've been excited for this one. This is gonna be I need to do it. I need to.
There it goes.
I'm gonna be fucking Ned Flanders in this fight. Honestly, this fight right here, the fact is, I'm gonna go first. Fuck it, Alex. Since you want to already talking shit, I'll go first right now. This fight, yes, this fight right here, because I love Gilbert Burns. I love his, love him. He's a fantastic fighter. Chimovich, for me, he really has the balls to step in and take this fight. The fact is that because the fact is that his previous, okay, we know the last fight he just choked him out when he fought Ling Jing Sung, I believe he fought. But remind you, he was out for about a year almost because of the COVID symptoms and everything else. So I'm glad that he's back. He looks in great shape. And the last fight for me wasn't much, to be honest. And so I know I'm gonna get shitted on it. But it's not enough to me to be impressive of Shimovich. Like, okay, all right, I'm gonna take Burns on this one, and I got Burns winning this one. Second round TKO, I give it. So there, you're happy? I take it. Second round TKO, and I cannot wait to see fucking Rogan's face. I want to see his face going like. That's what I want to see. All right, that's what I want to see. But I'll take Burns second round TKO. So we'll take it to you, Coach. Let's see how these individuals want to change their picks or not.
There we
really?
Go. Yeah, I'm a believer in Khamzat Chimaev. Everything that I've seen, I think the hype is real. How does he win and when does he win? Man. He's going to win. Is this a 3-round fight?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see him winning in the first round. I could see him winning in the second round. I think it's going to be wrestling and TKO, ground and pound TKO, second round, Khamzat Chimaev.
Ooh, you see, there you go.
And side note, Gilbert Burns' strength and conditioning routine that they're showing now. Here's the thing: what they show and what they do aren't always the same.
Right.
Very often we put on a show for the cameras and especially like for open workouts or embedded, but the shit that Gilbert Burns is doing with that group that's on the embedded or the whatever it was, it's the dumbest fucking shit I've seen. That's not quite true. I've seen really dumb shit, but it's really perplexing to see somebody at that caliber doing that kind of simulation training, that kind of circuit training.
Right.
It's a waste of time and a waste of money, and it's surprising to see see him doing that. So anyway, sorry. Side note.
There you go. All right, Richard, what do you got?
I'm gonna go ditto with Coach Rage and agree with what he said. No, I was kidding. Pretty much. I mean, I want it like, and this one is so tough because I'm like 1 second I'm going with Burns, 1 minute I'm going with Cosmont, but oh man, it's a tough one. It just comes out. He's just a machine at this point. I mean, people were predicting this. I was watching a video recently, Brian Stan, 5 years ago when he was doing a press conference saying, "Oh man, there's this kid you should watch. I don't know his name, but he's training in Sweden," and comes out to be Shamaev, saying that this kid's going to come to UFC one day. And finding out 5 years ago, I think he was still an amateur in mixed martial arts to show like, man, like other world-class fighters noticing this kid in the gym, what he's going to do. And 5 years later, look where he's at, 10-0, 6 KOs, 4 submissions. I mean, he's not a boring fighter by no means, doesn't go by decision, doesn't know the word decision. It's not in his vocabulary. So I just think I see him winning. Honestly, I think he finishes it probably in the second or third round.
Can I throw in a couple insider tips here? So some people that so Piera, like I mentioned, she was training at All Star. Shamaev wrestles, or we call it wrestle fucking, heavyweights, legit heavyweights at All Star. So he wrestle fucks heavyweight UFC, MMA, high caliber fighters. He was just at Extreme Couture, and he wrestle fucked Sean Strickland. And I've trained with Sean Strickland. His wrestling and his ground game is much underrated. It's very, very strong. It's just he likes to stand and bang, but he actually has really good takedown defense, great scrambles, and the fact that Shamaev, who's a weight class below him, not only was able to hold him down, but also able to submit him several rounds in sparring. That's just another, insider information about this guy just being, and the fact that he was born into a civil war. He's built different. And sorry. Okay, that's
I wanted to say something too. What you were saying earlier, and I saw the same video you were watching where Burns was training, that strength and conditioning video where he was pulling the band as like a rear naked choke and then doing that running thing. I forgot the machine name. The
climber.
The climber. Yeah. And you were saying that, at this point, it's a little silly. How would you, if you were trading Burns versus Hamza, how would you coach him? What would you prepare for him?
The problem with simulation training and circuit training. So circuit training, you get reasonably good results for the time, right? So you have a limited amount of time. You do circuit training, you get a little bit stronger, you get a little bit better cardio, but you don't get the results that you would get if you do proper strength training and proper cardiovascular training. But also, it's called SAID, SAID, specific adaptation to imposed demand. So specificity at this level of sport is king. So if you want to get better at your skills or build your endurance for your skills, then you should be doing your skills. So this simulation training that he's doing in the weight room is not as effective as just fucking wrestle, do your striking, do the da-da-da. So strength work is for developing the attributes of strength, speed, power, right? But actual conditioning, heart rate training, cardiovascular endurance training, that's so specific to the skill set that you're better served doing the skills at a high intensity build your, and there's it's called HIIT, high intensity interval training. There's specific ratios that you can use of work to rest to target the specific fuel systems. So yeah, I hope that's not too long of an answer, but there's better program design that is very specific and targeted. And when you're watching that video, how many coaches are in the room? He's got his striking coach, his head striking coach doing the mitt work. And then he's got like 3 or 4 different guys with clipboards. And I don't know. But again, it could be all for camera. It could be like, hey, coach, the UFC is filming me on Tuesday. Why don't we do this thing? And you come and you come and you come. We can all be on camera, and we can all promote your brand. And you could be my head. You know, that happens, and that it could be that's what they're doing. But hopefully that answered your question. I'm not talking too much.
No, I totally get it.
Fine,
no, for sure. No, I get it for sure. Like you said, like don't sit. Like you said, like the simulate training. Like get your ass in the wrestling room and do the real thing. Then doing this, and there's other circuit training that's actually useful than doing all this. And I hope not that he doesn't have a bunch of yes men and just like you said, 5 guys staying in the room watching him hit pads and doing this. So like you said, it might be all for show, hopefully. But no, I totally got it. I get it.
Yeah, it might be all for show. I'm glitching. It might be all for show, and there is obviously somebody wrote the program. There are time intervals. It's honestly not the worst that I've seen. Actually, the worst that I've seen that I can think of that just popped in my head was Jeremy Stevens working with it was called Functional Patterns. And okay, sorry, I kept glitching out. Yeah, Jeremy Stevens, and there was a losing streak that Jeremy Stevens went on that correlated to his time with this con man. It's called Functional Patterns, and they were just doing made up bullshit that just was like, fucking dancing with weights, and just it was the most ridiculous shit I've ever seen. So,
you feel the same way with like McGregor too when he was doing all that. Like capoeira
that was
stuff.
just so fucking showboating right there, man. All of that shit is fucking showboating.
Yeah, that's that was cringe, right? That was just straight up cringe. And Homeboy did that too. Oh man, Carlos Condit was doing some monkey moves in the woods with
so I was gonna say that.
Yeah. Man, come on. There's real fucking science, by the way, guys. I don't know. We have anatomy, physiology, neurophysiology. We've got kinesiology. We have real sciences. They're called the exercise sciences that governs all this stuff. You don't need to go to a fucking wackadoo con man. Oh, I'm a movement coach. A movement coach. Oh, okay. Where'd you get your certification? I made it up. Awesome. Awesome.
That's awesome. Because I always talk about like these movement coaches, and I think like years ago, like BJ Penn had the same thing where I think his like conditioning coach was the father of Tom Maranovich. He was like the QB for the Raiders. And he was a big prospect. Yeah, Mitch, and I think he was
actually a genius. He actually, he understood such high level stuff that's the thing, right? Like genius looks insane. But Makanovich was a genius. But then BJ did some BJ things and kind of parted ways with him and started.
Because he won with them. Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was really good stuff. But because he was integrating so much complexity with, it's called the stretch shortening cycle. So there's the myototic reflex. He was doing that, and then he was also getting into neuromuscular or neurophysiology. Some of the shit just looked like you're rolling around like a ball. What the fuck are you doing?
That one with the weight.
But,
yeah.
But it was actually very advanced stuff brought into our industry. And a lot of people are mimicking it and don't understand the nuances and don't understand, especially the neurophysiology. The neurophysiology, bro. Neurophysiology is hard. It's really confusing and it's really difficult to understand. But see, strength and conditioning is it's a huge important factor, but it's so much snake oil. There's so much bullshit. It's a big fucking mess, especially in combat sports. And it's because until you're in the upper echelon, you can't actually afford anyone of competence, right? So you're either making shit up, you're working with some guy who wants to invest in you, I'll train you for free. Oh, cool. What'd you do? Oh, wait, you failed football and you're going to come over here and you think you don't know anything about fighting. So it's a big fucking mess. But it's for my advantage. I've got a phenomenal strength coach who fucking knows all the sciences and comes out of rugby and knows international rugby. He's an international consultant. He's a biomechanist. He also does the mental skills coaching.
Interesting.
So we are lucky. We got our shit together. But
man.
Nice.
and I know a little bit too. I don't know if you guys picked up on that at all.
I picked it up. I'm like, okay, yeah, he knows.
Right away. I love it. I can hear you.
Right away.
I can hear you talk about this forever. Cool.
Oh,
Actually, I did a 2.5 hour podcast on the science of stretching and flexibility, and it was just me and the other host, and I just went off like a fucking
Nice.
nerd.
Oh, man, I love it.
well, hey, you gotta learn, man. You gotta look for the best.
Awesome.
The coach. Love it.
All right. Well, sorry to sidetrack you guys like that.
No worries.
Oh,
No worries.
awesome. I can hear this.
Did Alex give his pick yet?
Oh, not
yeah,
yet.
Alex,
So-
not
yet.
Alex. All right, you already heard the coach, and you heard Richards, and myself, of course, especially. What do you got in this?
So
one?
how is Kamzat going to win? How is Chimaev going to win? That's what we need to. That's what we need to pick.
Oh, yeah.
You know you're gonna pick him, Alex. Just say you were gonna pick him.
Come
So-
on, man.
I have this thing that's going in my head, and I see it, and I see it,
And Burns is going
and
to
I
get the armbar.
think
All right.
what's going to happen is first round, Burns
That's gonna
is
happen?
Catch him. Burns is going to catch him. He's going to rock him. He's going to take his back, and Burns is going to catch him in a rear naked choke. I'm going Burns submission first round. Burns comes off very, very explosive. And I think he's learned his mistakes, especially when he fought Usman. He
Yes.
rocked Usman, and I think he just made an error on that. And I think he's going to do the same thing with Kazmat. He's going to catch him, and he's going to stay on him. And I think he's going to end up taking his back, and he's going to because, again, we've never seen Kazmat being on the other side, how his defense is going to be. And I think he's going to be very in trouble, and I think Burns is going to catch him, take his back, submit him, and that's it.
You got first. Okay, I'm writing this down. All right, remind you. Don't change your fucking picks. You better fucking pick it.
Get it in writing.
Coach it. Chris ain't here to save you.
Hey,
Now,
this
coach
ain't
it.
finalized, man. This ain't finalized.
This better be finalized. And I better see your typology, so it better be fucking finalized. You better not change your shit. But you better not. All right. Now let's.
That's going to be a phenomenal fight, and the thing is,
Oh, yeah.
it can go any way that any of it. You know, it's because like Alex was saying with Hamzat,
What's going on?
he doesn't know that he can lose. Like he just doesn't. He's never lost, and that's not part of his experience or his psyche, right? So he doesn't know that that's possible.
Right.
That's when that. Oh, that's brutal when you're just that confident and that focused, and then all of a sudden, crack. Oh,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, you remember the last fight when he fought Ling. He went straight to Dana White. Give me a better fight. Give me a title shot already. He's already craving for that in the title hunt.
Oh yeah.
But like I said, I mean, my concern is that him being off that whole year because of the illness. I mean, like I said, he looked great, but for me, it's not enough. And this is very challenging for him. I understand it could go both ways, but I feel this is. I feel for me, he's the underdog on this one. And on the betting odds, I mean, if we look at it again, let's see. What are the betting odds on this? So there you see, as of right now, see, Gilbert is plus 360. So he's the underdog on it.
Gilbert's the underdog, but that's betting, right?
Yeah.
And that just means more people are on Chimaev's hype train, you know?
Yeah. But I'm saying for me, I feel like Chimaev should be the underdog. It shouldn't be Gilbert.
I agree. And if you look at the strength of schedule and the resumes, and Gilbert's fought Usman, right? But
fought Usman, got to come back to
you could also make an argument that Gilbert's been fighting guys that are on their decline, right?
Yeah.
Right.
True.
Very true.
I don't remember exactly, but Wonder Boy is no longer a boy.
No,
right? He's pretty long.
Becoming a man.
Yeah, becoming an old man.
Oh, very old man.
And
That's true.
who else? Damian Maya,
Woodley,
old, right? Woodley was definitely on his decline when he faced Burns. So you could.
Nelson.
Yeah, you can make an argument for all that it's like old guys declining, and that Hamzat is the young lion coming up. But we won't know until we know. So we're all excited to see it, and we made our picks, and we're gonna see.
Yes, we are going to see. Now let's get into one of the co-main events. We've been dying to have fight on you because this individual has been running away, and yes, I'll give it first, Alex. I'll go first, all right? Because I feel this individual been running away. Didn't want to give Peter Yan his rematch because right. He didn't want to give his rematch undisclosed. He got hurt supposedly, and trying to hold the belt for quite some time again. And of course, I'm speaking about Aljamain Sterling versus Peter Yan. And of course, what can I say about this fight? I mean, it's come on. I'm gonna say it right now. And it's for the bantamweight, title. This is in interest of the undisputed bantamweight championship on the line. Peter Yan, and I feel the question is what round. So that's the one I'm like, what should I pick on what round this one? I know Peter Yan has so much rage because that's right, because he did not get his rematch previously. They were supposed to fight quite some time ago. I forgot what UFC they were supposed to fight, but of course Sterling backed out because of an undisclosed injury. So, which was bullshit. He was running away from Peter Yan, and we all know it here. You can't sugarcoat it, and I'm saying it. People who are watching or listening, yes, he was just bullshitting around, trying to hold the belt for another time. Fine, you can have a couple more months. Let Peter Yan win the interim, fine. And now he's going to come for his belt. That belongs to him. Yes, Yan messed up the first time, of course, which we debated about that on quite some time in the previous episode about that fight with Yan. I mean, with the coach, I don't know what was the communication there with, him listening to his coach, or we don't know who was at fault. Him saying that it was the coach's fault. I feel like it was. I'm hoping this will be a different outcome and for Yan. So I picked Yan, and I will pick him. I would say he's gonna feel him out unless he wants to take him out so quick. So I'll pick Peter Yan, second round TKO. So go ahead, Alex. You want to go? Go ahead. Alex.
Sure. I'll go with I don't know. It's crazy because like it's the interesting question is going to be is how Aljamain could come back, especially the way how especially got dominated on the first of Yan, and I'm just going to be interested to see how his mentality is going to go into this one. Can he get the job done? That's the question. Can he get the job done and fight his fight and perform and the highest? But I just don't see it happening. I think Yan, especially with Yan, with his last fight against Sanhagen, he looked really. First off, it was such a great fight. It was an exciting fight, and Yan looked really, really good. Yeah, I think Yan gets the job done. I think Yan wins it. I'll go fourth round. I'm gonna go fourth round TKO on this one. I think Yan wins it.
Fourth round TKO. Okay, I'm writing it down. All right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I have it right here. Okay.
Write it down. And still my picks.
I still you.
You still picks, man.
I don't prove
it.
No. We'll prove it, man. We'll prove it when it comes to the early prelims and the prelims. How about that? That's random.
Okay, we'll see.
How about that?
There's probably some DMs to Rage and asking what his picks are for the prelims.
You gotta take me to court for that one. There ain't no proof.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, shout out to avoid cage my IQ. Sterling needs to learn how to pace himself and needs to grapple more if he has a chance. Does anybody want to answer this one? Do you agree with cage my IQ?
I don't think it's grappling. I think it's more of a stand-up that needs a little bit more of Yan.
And then he tried to trade more last fight, which was a bad call.
Yeah. I just think he could take Yan down. I think Yan has such good defense, takedown defense. It's hard to take him down. And I think his stand-up wasn't, like I said, Yan's stand-up was just much better that night, the first fight.
Right. Absolutely.
I think he just has to focus on mixing it well and using shots, and using feints, and using movement. I think that could win him the fight if he could do that, mix it, make it something with Yan, make him second-guess things. I think if Sterling could do that, that's his way he can win it.
All right, Richard, what do you got?
It's tough. I mean, like
what?
you said, like
what do you mean it's tough?
No, I didn't say it's a tough decision. I said it's tough for. Let me finish. I said it's tough for Sterling to decide. Like Alex is saying, do I do stand up? Do I do striking, which is the lesser evil, where I can have a better chance, pretty much, because pretty much you're screwed either way with Yan. So it's like, okay, maybe I could stand up, like Alex said, do more feints and get the better of him that way. But I mean, I just feel bad for Sterling. I mean, he won in that way, and everyone trashes him. Guys have had that chance when Jones fought. What's his name?
Smith.
What's it?
Smith.
Yeah, and he had that injury. He could have won that way and say, "Hey, look, that injury now. I got to win that way." But Sterling did it, and I can't hate him because I'm not in the position. He'll go down in history as a world champion, even the way he won.
And he's making more money. He's making so much more money as a champion.
Oh, yeah.
Just with sponsorships and
he's doing it well. He's being that. No. Exactly what you said. And he's playing that character. He's playing that douchebag. He has that book over the weekend. He put MMA rules for dummies. He's playing that role. Yeah, you saw that picture. Everyone first he was playing like, okay, I'm sorry guys, like I won that way, and now he's like, well, screw you guys. If you guys are shitting on me either way, okay, I'll be the bad guy. I'm the champ. He's not the champ. I'm the real badass in this division, and he's playing. I can't hate on it. I mean, if you really look his track record, he's beating some of the best guys in the world.
Yes.
He's beating Simon, Rivera, Sanhagen. You can't take that away with him. Only 3 losses. But then again, Yan's that tank. Yan is a different breed. He's going to come in. He only has 2 losses in his whole damn career. One's by split before UFC, and that one loss was the DQ. And Yan is just this well-rounded machine when it comes to grappling. It comes to wrestling. It's pretty much the division's worst nightmare, and it's Yan. But it'd be easy. Pretty much Yan's going to win. I think he finishes it. I think he submits him. Maybe in the second and third round. Either way, submission, like Rage said earlier, just how is he going to win? It could be either way. I just see Yan's going to win.
Yeah, so
Jan could head kick somebody, which he has versus Faber. But you
Yeah.
don't know
Oh
what
my
this man can
God.
do. He could do a spinning elbow, a jumping knee, you don't know what he can do. So Jan easily wins.
Like I said, I just want to see Joe Rogan just. I want to see that. That's all I want to see Rogan do.
Yeah.
I just want him to do that. So what round you get? Second or third? I mean, which one?
I'll go third.
All right. So we got
I'll go
third
third.
from Richard. Coach.
Sterling had more than a year to prepare, so we'll see.
Yeah. Best for last, Coach. Take it
Okay,
away.
so Sterling said that he needed neck surgery. And I actually, up until now, I actually believed him. But when Ivan started talking, I started thinking about it and reflecting on it. I don't know if he had surgery, didn't have surgery. So originally I was like, well, if he needed surgery, that's why he underperformed and got his ass beat the last time he fought with Jan. And it was a very one-sided fight leading up to the illegal knee. But he didn't, when he was talking in the interviews, he was talking as though I was pushing the pace and he was talking like it was a close fight and trying to sell everybody on it was a close fight and I was still pushing forward and I was going to win. And then he DQ'd with the illegal knee. And that was the angle that he was selling. He wasn't going, well, I needed this surgery, so I underperformed. And the other thing is, if it's true that he had neck surgery, there's no guarantee that he'll be able to perform, right? So there's the one possibility he needed neck surgery, he got neck surgery, and he's going to come back better and stronger and be able to compete. Or he needed neck surgery, he got neck surgery, and he's not going to be able to compete because he's less than, which is very common with a lot of surgeries, especially spinal and neck surgeries. And then there's the possibility that Ivan pointed out, which I'm tending to agree with now, is that Sterling's just full of shit. So I'm going to say Jan by knockout, first round.
Uno. Coach, you want to take this one of the comments
what
right
he
here.
was doing with the spinning back fist and then lead hook? That combination is incredibly it's not difficult to throw, but it's difficult to land. And then he was landing that on Sandhagen, who had a significant reach advantage.
Yes.
And not just once. He was like landing it and then landing it again. It's just like, whoa. So, yeah, I think Jan is he's light years ahead. And we already saw the first fight. And we saw how it went. Now, Jan is pissed off. I think it's gonna come out, and he's gonna
exactly.
So Sterling's training partner Merab might be a tougher matchup for Jan. No, Merab would get slept instantly. He is no. I disagree. I see what he's saying because of the wrestling, but it's so much more. You can't wrestle unless you got to get through the striking first to get into the wrestling, right? And penetrating Jan's offense, his striking offense, to get to the wrestling, and then overcoming Jan's wrestling defense. That's what people, because it's so subtle and happens so fast. That's what you can't pick up on. But I think our friend is correct in that fight is going to happen. The question is when. But yeah, Merab is definitely. He's on the warpath, and he's a player in the division. and that's gonna happen. But I mean, the other thing is Aljamain against anyone but Jan matches up incredibly well and performs incredibly well and is really well-rounded and skilled and talented. But then, as DC says, you find out that there's levels to this shit, and it's like, oh, wow, Jan is just on a completely different level. And the common theme that I keep coming back to, these guys out of the war-torn countries, it does something when you are in your developmental years and violence is as common as rainfall. It makes a different kind of person. So Derek Lewis came from an incredibly violent and abusive childhood and knocks people out like that. Khabib, Hamzat, Peter Yan, and when you are in the developmental phases, when you're a fucking 7-year-old child fist fighting with strangers more than once a week, you develop into something different than playing video games and eating Cheerios. So anyway, and we're finding that out. Like, oh shit. Yeah. What was that?
Absolutely, man. Hey, what a way to put it. Well said. It is very true. I agree 100%. Just that mentality that, how you mentioned, your childhood, by how you was pretty much how you were raised, the environment around you, you're surrounded with. Of course, you're gonna have that mental mentality, and it creates that, inside. And so, see, they're praising you, Coach. Facts. Yes, right. Yes, that is right. Yes. As a champion and has put his career on hold to help us. Yes, he has. And yes. Absolutely. Man. Touche. All right, now let's get into the main event of the evening for 273. And that is, of course, Volkanovski defending, of course, the featherweight championship.
Holy shit, look at those odds.
Yeah, right. You see the odds?
Shit.
Versus a Korean Zombie. Oh, man. And mind you that Korean Zombie has not had a title shot since 163. Since Aldo, when he separated his shoulder injury. So it's been a long time. I mean, you got to give Korean Zombie where, his credit is due. I mean, he obviously has ups and downs, to get to the title shot. So I'll go first, Alex. So you won't see him copying the coach's picks, all right? I'm going to go first, all right? But, oh, man, I mean, Korean Zombie, I give him a lot of respect. Like how Coach mentioned earlier about, what he mentioned about Chimaveg, Khabib, and everybody else, him as well. The Korean Zombie, taking off a year off to go serve military duties in South Korea. He left for that reason, and came back. And, has his impressive wins. So, a couple of losses here and there. So, like I said, right now he's been ups and downs. And I'm happy that he's getting his title shot now. This is a second opportunity. Beating Dang Ai was the last fight he had. But, right now Volkanovski is, man, he is killing it right now in that division. And I don't know who can stop this individual, in my opinion. I mean, the last fight, the last fight against Ortega was incredible. I mean, we thought we were going to see Ortega with an upset. Holy shit. I was like, oh, no. But obviously things turned around. So that was a hell of a fight. That was, I believe that was the fight of the night. I'm not sure if it was or performance of the night. But that fight against Ortega was phenomenal. And now, Volkanovski, he's been on a roll. So I hope this fight goes to the distance. So, but something tells me, I mean, I want to go with, what Coach, said way earlier about the embedded, all that is bullshit. I feel like there's no fucking way you're going to give what the fuck are you training for this upcoming fight, the secrets and the whole, how are you training, your conditioning, your your pretty much your agility. No, I don't think it's fucking impossible for that to happen. So this fight, I'm really fully invested because I want to see Korean Zombie put the best that he can. But because I love the guy, he's great. But I'm gonna go, of course, with Volkanovski in this one, and I'm gonna choose. I will choose fourth round TKO Volkanovski.
Ooh.
Yes, because I believe that Korean Zombie's gonna put all his eggs in the basket and put whatever he can because this is a second opportunity to get a title fight. Obviously, the first one did not go well, how I mentioned, because of the shoulder injury that put him out, and that's why he lost that quick. So I'm hoping this time he puts a fight for, especially being in the main event, for all of us. So I'm hoping to see that from the Korean Zombie. But do I see him winning? Unfortunately, I do not. I feel like Volkanovski has improved more in his strikings, and most of his wins has been by TKO. So, man, just seeing, Volkanovski has developed more and more, and this is another one for him. So I will take, once again, Volkanovski TKO round 4. Go ahead, Alex. What do you got, Alex?
Yeah, this one, I love Korean Zombie. I'm such a big fan of his and been following his career throughout his whole UFC career. And I expect to see the best Korean Zombie out there in this fight, especially in his like you said, he took time off, from 2013, I believe, didn't make his return to 2017, obviously military leave. And it just sucks because, like, those years, what could have happened? Could have been champion when he was off. And I think he knows that this is it. I think, he's 35 years old. And I think at this point now, this is probably his last title shot he's going to get. And that's why I feel like we're going to expect to see a really, really good Korean Zombie out there in the octagon. But then again, it's like you're facing Volkanovski, who's an animal out there. But I think with Volkanovski, there's things he does, and there's ways when he throws punches and he goes in and kind of overthrows his punches a lot, and you can see sometimes where he's coming in. Zombie is very fast and he has really good speed and very good punches, and I can see one of the ways of Zombie winning is if Volkanovski shows his punch and Zombie catches him in with the speed. But I don't know, it's just Volkanovski's so freaking strong and really good placements of kicks and everything, moves really well. Heart is Zombie. The head is Volkanovski, but you know what, man? I'm gonna go with the underdog in this one. I'm gonna go Zombie on this one, and I think he gets it done. I think he's gonna shock the world. I think he's gonna end him in the second round.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Ivan, make sure he makes that pick. Make sure he makes that pick, Ivan.
Hey, all right. Hey,
like I said, man, I think Zombie wants it to be standing. I think it's a perfect kind of style for him. He's not facing a wrestler, not facing a grappler. He's gonna face a good striker, and I feel like Zombie, like I said, we're gonna see the best Zombie out there, and I think he gets the job done, in my opinion.
So I want to read what Cage My IQ commented. Volk by dominant decision. He's been averaging 150 significant strikes for a fight for the past four fights. Has endless cardio and will be able to stuff takedowns. Korean Zombie might throw into his game. And Alexander's striking output is outrageous. Love it. Richard, what do you got, my brother?
We all know the facts. I mean, you could keep on saying how much of a tank and machine Volkanovski is. We all know his striking percentage and his grappling, how great of a well-rounded fighter he is. So we all know that. Everyone's already overlooking Korean Zombie, unfortunately. But, I mean, I love the underdog story. I would love to see Zombie get the win. I mean, he's been in the trenches and his MMA career, 11 years in the UFC. He gets his shot. He gets a small window of opportunity stepping in. And you can't hate it. Everyone's getting upset. Oh, man, why did he get the shot? They should have put Cejudo in and all these other names that should have came in last minute.
I thought Yair was going to be one, to be honest.
Yeah, another one. All these names coming out of the woodwork, he should get it. And Zombie, is deserving. And it's kind of hurtful to see, like, these guys are kicking to the curb, like, shouldn't get the shot. I mean, we've seen this in the past where Chael Sonnen facing John Jones. I don't think he deserved it. or Dan Henderson facing Silva, and all these other names coming in and out, or Rousey getting her shot versus Nunes. We all seen it, and you can't hate on Zombie. Why doesn't he deserve a shot? I know his record. He's his last 5 matches are 3-2 or something like that.
Yes.
But they picked him for a reason. He's going to be an exciting fight no matter what. Alex and I had the privilege of interviewing Leonard Garcia about a few months ago, and he said this man comes in, throws a kitchen sink, and he throws a house with it. So, I mean, it's going to be an exciting fight no matter what. But like I said, Alex and I think the same. I would love to see Zombie win. I don't see it happening. I see Volkanovski. Man, that's tough. I see him possibly KO, knocking him out in the 3rd round.
Oh,
I see
okay.
Volkanovski winning it. It's just
Okay.
you go all day saying how he's going to do it, when he's going to do it, and the statistics. I mean, it just shows that he's going to. I mean, I love that small window. He could do it. Zombie could win. Like Alex said, it could happen. Anything happen. It could happen in the sport. He could go to KO. This is definitely his last chance for romance, and his girlfriend is that UFC championship belt that he wants around his waist. He needs to do it. I mean, the pressure's on him. This is his chance.
And the pressure's on. That's right.
The pressure's on. So he's gonna all that years, all that anger. It's right here. This is it. This is the biggest stage of them all. I mean, he has to throw it all. Everything he's learned all these years since he was a little boy. This is it. So hopefully we see something happen. Kareem could take it. I'm not hating either, man. Whoever wins it. I'm a fan of both.
But it's going to be an exciting fight, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
It will be
exciting.
This will be like, how can I put it? Like a heart and soul type of fight in this one. It's like
it's going to be who wants it more.
Who wants it more? And yeah, it's man, it's a great underdog storytelling. For me, for Korean Zombie, because like second chance, you're getting. And
reminds me of Teixeira.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Great point of view. Yes. Teixeira reminds me of. And saving the best for last, because nobody's taking your picks, all right? So nobody is. Now everybody made theirs. Now it's finally to hear the master himself, the cityest of the cage fighting himself, Coach Ray.
Yeah. I'm a little boring on this one. I don't see how this fight got made, honestly. I don't
really.
I don't think Zombie belongs there. After how bad Ortega made him look, picked him apart, and I don't see it. I understand being a fan. I understand he's fun to watch, but I don't think he belongs in this fight, and I don't see it going past the 2nd round. Volkanovski is going to pin him against Gage, TKO. Yeah. So it's going to be, he's going to be stuck in the corner, and just the ref's going to stop it.
And the rest is history. There you go. So you have Coach having, Jesus. Do you feel that they put him in this card because Yaris Rodriguez lost to Holloway, and I know he's, I'm going based on the rankings, and I'm looking at it. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know rankings doesn't matter, but I know he was 3rd. But I think the loss with Holloway affected him. You think that was?
I think they wanted to make an exciting fight with strong fan bases.
Fan favorite.
And then you also there's geopolitical factors also that play into their matchmaking, and there's also just like who's available, and there's a lot of elements that go into it. And I can't think of anyone. I think the fights with Holloway were really, really close, and I actually had Holloway winning the second fight. And I think Holloway is the only one that can really give the champ run for his money in that weight class that I can think of anyway. I think Brian Ortega really poured his heart into that last matchup, and Brian did a lot better than I expected. Although Brian should have been disqualified when his corner picked him up and put him on when his corner went in and physically picked him up off the mat. That's illegal to do, and he should have been disqualified, and it should have ended there. But Sorry, that's a coach's tangent.
Hey, I love it though. For all people who are MMA fans, learning as well. Yeah, we're learning as you're learning. If you're watching or listening.
It's amazing. Like boxing, they're really strict about, and they catch you and you're fined. And MMA guys get away with a lot of stuff. It's like, whoa, oh hey, that's illegal. So anyway, who else? Like Rodriguez is. I don't think he. Oh, Bryce Mitchell's coming up, right?
Mm-hmm. He is.
Bryce
Number 9,
Mitchell, man, how well did he do against Barboza?
Yes,
like that was
a
so
fight.
surprising. I don't think Bryce is quite there yet, but Cage My IQ. I think that's a great suggestion. Thank you. That in a couple years is going to be something to see.
Oh, absolutely.
But I just can't think of like
there's no one else.
Just really no one else in that division. I mean,
Kind of thin, yeah.
Calvin Kattar, Arnold Alien, Josh Emmett. I mean, Giga. Dan Guy, but Barbosa. I mean, Burgos. I mean, it's not really much in that division. Maybe like Mitchell, Cage My IQ mentioned Mitchell.
Yeah, and I don't want to give the impression that it's a thin division because it is.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's just Volkanovski's already
beating everyone.
He's already lapping people, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting.
Has he fought a year yet, or did he? Or no? I'm seeing. No, he has not fought a year yet.
Yeah.
No. So that's probably the man he's missing to fight. Year.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the kind of okay. Well, let's put this one in and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I don't see Rodriguez bringing anything.
I don't see it either. Not me neither. Because the way he went against Holloway.
Yeah, I think Holloway is I think Holloway gets a shot again, and we'll see.
And Holloway beat Yair, right?
Holloway beat Yair. Yeah,
badly.
Badly. It was bad. So,
but who did? Was it? It was the fight before that. Holloway and Cater.
Oh yeah.
Where Holloway had downloaded some cheat codes from the internet, and that's what I want to see. I want to see those cheat codes again when he goes up against Volkanovski. But he didn't do that with Rodriguez because Rodriguez is less orthodox and a little bit more explosive, and so it's a lot harder to get into that flow in that zone when you got the spinny, flippy shit. What the fuck? Where Qatar or Cater is much more crisp and orthodox, and that's what he says. I don't believe him. I don't. So I was reading the screen.
Yeah. I was showing it.
Holloway said that he doesn't spar anymore, and that he's training on Nintendo Wii and shit.
Yeah, I did say that.
Oh no, we fit.
Yeah, right. That was COVID era, and we had to say a lot of shit to get past the authoritarian rulers. So, and Hawaii being an island, they were really, really inappropriate with their lockdowns and shit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know Max, but my educated guess is that he's overplaying all of it, and it started with the COVID lockdown, and then he found something there. Now, maybe he's not doing the hard sparring that he used to be doing. Okay, maybe he's changed his. Okay, cool, but no sparring. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I don't believe that either. I think he's just bullshitting. I think that's just straight BS. But I think that's what happened. I think Holloway's gonna wait for the winner of this fight, and then it'll be, I guess, we call, I guess, the trilogy, right? I guess, right? Because he lost to Volkanovski twice. This will be the ending of it, and he's
I
the
thought it
only
was a draw
one.
the first one now. Oh no, you're right.
No, he lost both of them.
Won, yeah.
Yeah, Volkanovski won both of them. So now I'll ask everybody here around, out of this main card, which one that you expect that will steal the, what will be the fight of the night for this main card? So I'll take it to you, Alex. Out of this card, which fight are you looking at could be the fight of the night coming up?
I go main event. I think main event's gonna be exciting. Again, you have two strikers in there. They both are very, very exciting. So I think the main event's gonna steal the show.
Okay, Richard, who can steal the show in this one?
I'm gonna say who can steal the show is Alex versus his iPhone when he punches it and sees a new champion. Just KO that phone. No, just kidding. I'm gonna say Burns, and Hazmat. Yeah, I think it's gonna be an exciting fight. I think it's gonna steal the show.
All right, Coach. Which one could you feel like is fight of the night for this main card?
I think the one with the most potential for fight of the night is Burns and Chimaev.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And man, I have to agree with you guys too. I think Burns I think Burns and this was gonna be a hell of a fight. I'm looking forward to see, because I'm really curious of how Chimaev his performance will be. It looks like Cage will be towards it. Yeah, that too. That is going to be that's going to be very intriguing too as well.
Great card.
It is. It's a really good stat card. I mean, come to think of it.
Torres and Burns is going to be submission of the night.
Oh, submission of the night. There you go.
Not going to be fight of the night though.
All right, and there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget to subscribe to Championship on the Line podcast and to follow, of course, Coach Rage EYR Division as well on his YouTube channel. Everything, the social media platform, the description right below. Subscribe to these three gentlemen's platforms, and not forget, which I'm hoping I'll get the video for the next one when we come back, when we do the recap. Let's see, what did occasionally say? Chima is showing a lot of personality training. A train info with Till and Gustafsson. Okay, training. Okay, good. Thank you very much. And we might have you on the show next week. You never know, for the recap. So stay tuned for that. But yes, we'll be back here next week, ladies and gentlemen, to give obviously a recap and to see who's a Tapology World Champion, which it might be Richard, not you, Alex. Not
really?
you.
It's gonna happen.
Yes.
But I was thinking with my picks, I could be like, especially my picks are all over the place, I could come out of this being like a real genius or a real dumbass. So I don't know yet. So we'll see. My picks are all over the place.
Remind you, the early prelims of the prelims we haven't discussed. We haven't broke that down. So that's going to be the factor of all, of who actually gets the most wins out of the early and the prelims. So I'm gonna keep an eye on your.
And again, man, I don't know what you're doing with those DMs. I don't know who you're sending out to.
Look, man, I go with my heart.
I don't know, man. Again, I don't know.
I'm like,
what's weird, Ivan? Your prelims are always perfect. I don't get that. I don't get that. So you're doing some cheating, man. I don't know if you have like 5 accounts.
Have you ever gambled? Have you ever gambled? You play roulette. You just gotta go with it, brother. You just gotta go with it. Roll them dice.
It's suspicious, though. Suspicious.
No, I can. What if you want? I'll like Zoom call you. Look, this is my picks, just to show you that I'm not even bullshitting. That I don't need.
We'll say. I'm gonna take this to Core. I'm gonna take this to freaking Chris.
Yeah, take it to Chris when he comes back in a month. Because he goes back until next month. That's for sure. But yes, but besides that. Just a reminder, I don't have the flyer, but I will have it next week for you, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rage has 5 incredible fighters that will be fighting this upcoming event coming to you here in Southern California. If you're SoCal natives around here at the Commerce Casino, and that's happening on April 30th. If you want to give them the breakdown, Coach, provide them the event and the time.
It's Fighters Rep 13. It's Unified Rules Kickboxing. And yeah, the IR division will be out in force. We got 5 fighters on the card. April 30th, Commerce Casino. Doors are at 5 p.m. And
there you go.
get your tickets at the fighters. Just go to fightersrep.com and click on buy tickets. And if you can't buy tickets, you can also live stream from the Fighters Rep website.
He doesn't have 1. He doesn't have 2. He doesn't have 3. He doesn't have 4. But he has 5 fighters.
5 fighters, which I'm looking forward.
Busy night.
It is going to be a busy night, and I'm looking forward because that's going to be awesome, and I cannot wait because I'll be there. I will be there, so I'm hoping we have the championship on the line showing up. What they got to buy your tickets, boys? Come on, we got to go show support.
I know we got to do it. Yeah,
there's our other host,
especially Luis too. We got to support him. Luis is a great fighter, and I can't wait. He's a great guy.
There you go.
Yeah, we got Quincy Hollowpoint, Holland. We've got Bobby Doomsday Johnson. We've got Luis Toro Moreno. We've got Raymond Solo Martinez. And we got Michael Sugarbomb Claycomb.
Oh, that's right.
It's a great nickname, Sugarbomb.
I love the nickname.
I know, right? It's
a
awesome
great nickname.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward for that, man. But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, let me see if I can pull it up here. I'll show the audiences right now. So very briefly, let me share my screen for a brief moment here. Let me share it.
Fighters Rep is a good promotion, too. They've been doing some really good things.
It's a really good show.
Let's
really
see
good.
Here. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
There we go. Look at
there.
that.
See, Fighters Preps. Make sure you go to fighterspreps.com to go ahead and purchase your tickets. And there you go. You make sure you click on tickets. Go to Fighters Prep 13, and there you go. The general mission and everything.
And you said there's 19 fights, right, Rich?
19 fights, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, 19 fights. There's still.
And the thing about it, and for the price, and the thing about the Unified Rules Kickboxing is the pace of the action. Because there's no clinch, there's no sweep. It's punching, kicking, knees, nonstop, bell to bell, and lots of knockouts, lots of finishes, and there's no break in the action, right? So Muay Thai is cool, but if they clinch a knee and then they get broken, or they sweep and then all right, well, there's a few seconds getting back up and then restarted. None of that here. It's pure striking, pure action. So yeah.
I'm excited. We will be there, so you guys better go. I will put the link below on the description on YouTube. Purchase your tickets, ladies and gentlemen, and for all the audio platform listeners as well listening. If you're around SoCal, make sure go to Copper Casino April 30th. You do not want to miss it. We'll meet the coach himself. You can meet us as well. Say hi. Don't be a stranger. You can buy me a drink. I'll be happy with that. Buy me a beer, and I'll be happy with a beer.
Awesome.
And awesome. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back next week for the recap for UFC 273. Once again, it's the host of Devious One I've seen with my other host, of course, with the Midas of Pain that brings the pain, but not like this man over here who is assiduous in the cage, and that's why he's called Rage, because we're going to see, no matter what, we're going to see Rogan do when his fighters knocks their opponents down on April 30th. That's what I'm looking forward to see. So we will see you guys next week for the recap.
As I win the title, baby. As I win the title.
Goodbye. Yeah.